Yeah, right, mate, how's it going? Arne Slot's having a great time at Liverpool right now. We're thinking maybe he's going to get the sack. So we decided on a Saturday morning to come live and locked in with some red lights on us to see what's going to actually happen.
Yeah,
Of course. We're here today to talk to you about Liverpool because obviously you've seen Premier League predictions, you've seen the Champions League review. Liverpool are off the back of 2 3-goal defeats. 3-0 at home to Forest, 4-1 at home to PSV Eindhoven, and this weekend they face West Ham away. A resurgent West Ham United, and Eunice has said that if they lose this, Slot's job becomes totally untenable and he gets the sack. So if that happens, what happens? Eunice, first of all, can you clarify that you did or did not say the following statement? That Arne Slot will be sacked if West Ham beat Liverpool.
100%. I can confirm that I have said that. That is my own personal opinion, but I think it's very realistic.
What, West Ham winning or Slot sacking?
Both.
I genuinely think this is worth having a conversation about because it's gone so incredibly wrong.
Yeah.
I think when you watch the PSV game, you can clearly see a lack of effort, which is the first sign that things are just going very south, which Liverpool will not want to be the case, but it is very much happening right now. That is 2 huge defeats in a row. And we've also discussed this. There's not even like the odd draw sandwiched in there. This is loss, 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 loss.
Mate, so Liverpool right now, right? I'm gonna pull this up. 12 games. Their last 12 games. 9 losses.
That's insane.
That's have Wolves done that?
Yes. Yes, they have. But
Look, they lost to Crystal Palace, then lost to Galatasaray, then lost to Chelsea, then lost to United, beat Frankfurt, lost to Brentford, lost to Palace, beat Villa, beat Real Madrid, lost to City, lost to Forest, lost to Eindhoven.
I'm looking at all of those games though and thinking they're not easy. They're certainly not easy.
Some of them are not.
But like to be Premier League champions, I think we need to kind of dissect and understand where it's gone wrong. To be Premier League champions and spend £500 million and get worse is unprecedented football conversation territory, isn't it? I was convinced at the start of this season that Liverpool could only get better as a result of doing that. And we've had numerous conversations here on ShootOut about why it's gone wrong. And you've said to me on a number of occasions that Florian Wirtz just isn't cut out for that team, isn't potentially cut out for English football. And I'm seeing Liverpool fans kind of, there's a lot of people that have kind of said Wirtz, shouldn't be starting right now. But Isak seems to be getting like the flag waved for him right now.
Yes.
Because it wasn't easy at Newcastle. I'm sorry, what? Like, okay, you didn't have a proper pre-season. Did Chelsea players have a proper pre-season? Isak is the most expensive player in Premier League history.
Yep.
And they're excusing this.
Because money talks. Because of the price tag. It's a case of like, okay, you have to protect the image of that because he cost that much and there was that much spent on him. And also, we know what Isak can do, right? We've seen what he can do at Newcastle. That was class from Isak overall. Will that take a bit of time for him to get that going up at Liverpool? Perhaps, but not under these circumstances because I think there's problems that are deeper. We've got to remember, Liverpool started the season with basically, was it 6 wins in a row? And everyone was like, flipping hell, they're out the blocks. They're just going to go off and retain this, aren't they?
I think the signs were there, though. Like, they weren't smashing teams to pieces. Goals are going in against them.
Yep.
And I feel like the luck ran out a little bit.
This is the thing. And we have to put into context as well. You mentioned this previously, like last week, if I'm not mistaken, where, yes, the death of Diogo Jota has definitely played a part, right? But I honestly believe as a team and as a collective and where everyone is there to support each other and pick each other up, that lasts a certain amount of time before eventually you have to look forward and start putting yourself back on track, you know? And they've not done that whatsoever. But when we see Liverpool play now on a footballing level, anything that Arne Slot touches goes wrong. And now I think even if he does go back to type in terms of what Klopp was doing and what worked, mentally they all look shot. we saw Curtis Jones in his interview after the Champions League game, where he literally just came off and just swore right on the flipping post-match interview, just saying, "Yeah, no, we've gone to pot," basically.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know what's going on, and he's never experienced this. Well, now, and we've experienced this with Chelsea in the past. When everyone is psychologically affected and everyone is now mentally shot, it doesn't matter how good you are. You're doubting yourself. The confidence is gone. You don't know. You can't trust your teammates. You're scared of the ball. There's so many factors now. Liverpool look completely out of sorts, and Slot doesn't have a solution.
I have a little theory for this as well. And I think when you look at some of the top players that Liverpool had last season, I think selling Luis Diaz was a really bad call. I think he's a fantastic footballer. I mean, this might sound like a ridiculous statement, but I think it might have actually been better for Liverpool if Salah would have been the one to go and Diaz would be the one who stayed.
Yes,
I think they'd actually be a better team as a result of that.
Yeah.
But I also think Trent Alexander-Arnold, as much as that obviously went very sour towards the end, when you lose players like that, even Darwin Núñez, right? Like, he very much was a hard-working player. And I think Slot would have loved that energy and mentality potentially now, as much as he wasn't a brilliant striker. Like, there was still a lot of effort in there. I think what's happening here at Liverpool is you lost a lot of key dressing room figures. Jota is obviously included in that conversation too. Mm-hmm. And what you've brought in are players who have come in, and because they're the Premier League champions, there's almost this imposter syndrome for these big signings, potentially. The likes of Wirtz, the likes of Isak. Are they expressing themselves as the great footballers that we believed and believe that they are? Because there is currently this shift happening at Liverpool where, well, they've got rid of a load of the old heads, the old guards that have been there through a very successful Klopp period and Slot season. These guys have just come in, and it's like, well, who's going to take the lead here? Who's going to be the guy to, when things go tough and wrong, who is going to be the one to get everyone and drag them through the trenches? And it's certainly not any of these new signings.
You've made a very good point here, I feel, where the names that you've mentioned that left, all of them were really good squad players.
Big time.
So you always knew who the 11 were, but then you had these players that would filter themselves in and contribute for the sake of the squad. They've gone, and they've been left with a bunch of players that are first 11 players, but now you've brought in other players that should be first 11 players, and they can't fit.
Because you're trying to put them all in at once.
Now it's like you've got two worlds that are trying to coexist, and they just can't.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
So you've spent that much money, and there's the pressure of the financials as well. How can Isak and Wirtz not play when you've spent that much on them? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's where things get, quote unquote, political. You can't just leave 150 million on the bench. Like, you just can't. Do you know what I mean? But on the footballing level, well, yes, you should. Because he's not good enough right now. Or he's not fitting. You know, it's not even a case of being good enough. Sometimes there's players that just don't fit into a certain system, into a certain team. But they go elsewhere and they blow up. That happens. That's football. But what you've mentioned is what Luis Diaz brought was happy to come off the bench and contribute and make a big impact. Then some games he would start. Darwin Núñez, sometimes he would start, sometimes he wouldn't, but then he would contribute too. And I definitely not in case of goals, but in a similar role to like how Gakpo is used now, even though I think he's still in the squad and he's still there and does well. Jota was also similar. But now you're bringing in Isak and you're bringing in Wirtz and you've spent that much money. You've gone away from your tradition and you spent that much that you're now stuck with this, and the team's gotten worse. Mm-hmm. They've got this completely balls up. They've completely messed this up.
Hugo Ekitike, I think, is a big positive.
That is a big positive.
I think that the Isak money should have been spent on defenders, and then just make Hugo Ekitike the guy, and I think he would be the guy. Like, I'm looking now at the goals this season in the Premier League. Salah has 4, but it's Mo Salah, and the expectation there is way higher than that. Gravenberch 3, Cody Gakpo 3, Ekitike 3. Chiesa, who can't buy a start in football at Liverpool for love nor money, has 2.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's a couple of individuals. Like, for Liverpool, I think we've got to also think and look at what happens if you sack Slot. Because in football nowadays, I think this is kind of a difficult conversation to have about who should come in if someone gets fired, because there isn't actually that many managers, I think, that would do well at Liverpool right now. And I get this feeling that it might have to be like a temporary stopgap for Liverpool as opposed to going and getting a big name, because I think this is so unexpected. So, and I'm not saying this is a joke, maybe someone like a Gerrard in the interim phase would actually work.
Hang on. If you just said Steven Gerrard,
I think Liverpool's season's a write-off.
give it till Gerrard to the end of the season, basically. Yeah. Give it to Giggs to the end of the season.
No, I'm being serious. I'm being serious. Remember when Kenny Dalglish came in at Liverpool and it was kind of like didn't really go anywhere, but like it was also kind of just like bring Liverpool back together again. Do you know what I mean? Like they're losing it right now. But someone's got to bring it back.
But you also do need, I think, someone that has the skill on a manager level to be able to
like Frank Lampard potentially.
But this is the thing, even with Frank, we saw what happened with Frank. You know,
fully joking, by the way.
He came in obviously as a manager the first time, and it started off well and then went left. Came in as an interim, couldn't help the situation. But I don't think Gerrard will come in and help the situation. He'll make it feel good. Don't get me wrong. Anfield will be rocking, but that's it. That's it. It'll just be noise.
So what, right? Who else is there then? Glasner from Palace?
This is the thing. Liverpool in the situation right now where, personally, I believe Slot needs to go. Because everything that he touches now goes wrong. And I feel like senior players have dropped their faith. The squad don't believe anymore. I feel like it's gone to pot. I feel like they've properly down tools. And when you lose your senior players, you're finished. Tactically, Liverpool are set up in a way where they should be. You see how Klopp set them up? They were a very sort of like basketball team. Mm-hmm. Very direct. It was very end-to-end. But that's how Liverpool operate. Liverpool have the players to be able to conduct that style where they can just blitz, you know, and catch teams out on a counter or find a bit of space and just go straight in. They've got some technical players that can drive the ball, but they move as a group really, really quickly, which they're not doing under Slot. They want the ball more under Slot. They want to slow the tempo down under Slot. That's not Liverpool. Liverpool don't play that way. And that's not suiting their strengths. And Slot doesn't have any other alternative that he wants to go to. But even now, like I say, if he wants to go back to the Klopp way, they've down tools. It looks like mentally they're shot. So Slot needs to go.
Okay. So,
but in terms of bringing in, there's no choice. They have to try and pluck out someone out of a job. So
yeah.
They have to go to Glasner or Areola. I was talking about possibly Xabi Alonso, who's looking like he's losing the dressing room at Real Madrid as well, possibly because of Vinicius. But apparently Real Madrid are not looking to sack Xabi Alonso anytime soon.
What about a Klopp return? If Klopp would do it.
Yes, is the thing. On paper, yes, 100% all day long. But it would make the Liverpool leadership look stupid, desperate. And Klopp, I don't think wants to do it just for his own sake, because he left the job for his own sake, for his own health. I don't think he wants to put himself back in that situation.
Well, I think we might find out the answers to these questions quite soon. According to yesterday's Premier League predictions video, Eunice believes it could be as soon as Monday. Would Liverpool do it on a Sunday night? Saturday?
If West Ham beat Liverpool, it's the end. Has to be.
You reckon?
That you're forced
in the tunnel.
Literally in the tunnel. Yeah, like at that point, Liverpool have no alternative.
Well, let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. Obviously, this is a big weekend of Premier League football, and yesterday we had the prediction show where you can see everything that we think is going to happen this weekend, including tomorrow's big one, Chelsea and Arsenal. Eunice will be here for the stream.
I will be doing the watch along.
He will be here by himself, but we're gonna link up.
Yes.
We're going to link it up.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. But anyway, let us know your thoughts on Liverpool in the comments down below, and we'll see you all tomorrow.